The Unseen Giant. Unmasking the Truth of Behemoth. Lesson. Behemoth teaches us about the profound mystery of God's creation and the importance of humility in the face of powers beyond our comprehension. It's a call to trust in divine sovereignty, even when we can't see the full picture. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying into the ancient world of the Bible to confront one of its most enigmatic and colossal figures, the Behemoth. What was this creature? A myth, a metaphor, or something more? Let's uncover the truth together. Our primary encounter with Behemoth comes from the book of Job, chapter 40. After Job has endured immense suffering and questioned the justice of God, God finally answers him, not with simple explanations, but with a challenge. He points to the grandeur and power of his creation, and at the forefront is Behemoth. God begins, "Behold, Behemoth, which I made as I made you." This is a crucial starting point. Behemoth isn't a random monster. It is a creature of God, made alongside humanity. This places it within the realm of the natural, yet extraordinary. Let's look at the description. He eats grass like an ox. This seems simple enough. But then the details get more impressive. Behold, his strength in his loins, and his power in the muscles of his belly. The text describes a creature of immense physical might. He moves his tail like a cedar. Think about that for a second. A cedar tree is massive, strong, and deeply rooted. To compare a creature's tail to a cedar tree paints a picture of unimaginable scale and power. This is no ordinary animal. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze. His limbs like bars of iron. This isn't just poetry. It's a depiction of an indestructible force of nature. Bronze and iron were the strongest materials known at the time. To say its bones are like bronze tubes and its limbs like iron bars is to say it is virtually unbreakable. So, what was it? Many scholars have tried to identify Behemoth with a known animal. The most common suggestion is the hippopotamus. This makes some sense. Hippos are large, powerful, live near water, and can be incredibly dangerous. The description of eating grass like an ox also fits. However, the hippo theory has its problems. A hippo's tail is small and stubby, hardly comparable to a mighty cedar tree. Some have suggested a crocodile, but crocodiles are carnivores, and the text says, "Behemoth eats grass." Others have even proposed it might be a now extinct dinosaur, like a sauropod, which would certainly fit the description of a tail like a cedar. But perhaps we're missing the point by trying to fit Behemoth into a zoological box. The name itself, Behemoth, is the plural form of the Hebrew word for beast or cattle. This suggests it's not just a beast, but the beast, the ultimate land animal, the archetype of terrestrial power. Let's return to the context in Job. God isn't giving Job a biology lesson. He's making a theological point. Job has been questioning God's governance of the universe. He feels his suffering is unjust and that the world is out of control. God's response is to show Job something he cannot control, something that is completely outside of human dominion. Look at the next verses. He is the first of the works of God. Let him who made him bring near his sword. Only God, the Creator, can master this creature. No human hunter, no army, no king can stand against Behemoth. This is a direct answer to Job's pride. Job, in his suffering, thought he understood justice better than God. God shows him Behemoth to say, "You cannot even comprehend the power of this one creature I made. How can you possibly comprehend my plans for the entire cosmos?" Behemoth lies under the lotus plants, in the covert of the reeds, and in the marsh. He is at home in his environment, serene and the mountains yield food for him, where all the wild beasts play. This creature is so mighty that the very mountains provide its sustenance, and other animals play around it, unafraid, because it is a herbivore, a gentle giant in its own realm. Yet, its power is absolute. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he is not frightened. He is confident though Jordan rushes against his mouth. Even a raging river, a powerful force of nature, is nothing to Behemoth. It can stand firm against a flood. This imagery reinforces its stability and unshakable strength. So, Behemoth is more than just an animal. It is a living symbol of God's creative power and sovereignty. It represents a part of creation that is wild, untamable, and exists purely for God's own purposes, not for humanity's. It reminds us that the world is not all about us. There are forces and realities in the universe that we can't control, can't fully understand, and certainly can't judge. This is a profound lesson in humility. In our modern scientific age, we often think we can explain everything, categorize every species, and solve every mystery. We believe we are the masters of our world. Behemoth stands as a biblical rebuttal to that arrogance. It tells us there are mysteries that belong to God alone. After describing Behemoth, God introduces another creature, Leviathan, the master of the sea. Together, they represent the totality of untamable power on land and in water. They are the twin pillars of a world that is far bigger and more complex than human beings can grasp. The lesson for Job and for us is one of trust. When we face trials, when life seems chaotic and unjust, it's easy to question God. But God's answer through Behemoth is not to explain the why of our suffering. Instead, it is to expand our vision of who He is. The God who created and commands Behemoth is the same God who is in control of our lives. If He can manage a creature of such epic proportions, can we not trust Him with our smaller, personal worlds? Behemoth isn't a monster to be feared, but a marvel to be contemplated. It's a symbol of the awesome, wild, and beautiful power of God. It teaches us that true wisdom begins not with having all the answers, but with recognizing our own limitations and standing in awe of the Creator. It forces us to ask, what are the behemoths in our own lives? What are the situations or problems that feel too big for us to handle, that defy our understanding and control? A serious illness, a global crisis, a profound loss. These are modern behemoths. The message of Job is that we are not meant to conquer these things on our own. Our role is not to bring near our sword to the problem. Our role is to behold the power of God, to trust in His sovereignty, and to find peace in knowing that the one who made the mountains and the mighty, Behemoth, is also the one who holds us in His hands. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the scale of the world's problems or your own personal struggles, remember the story of Behemoth. Remember the lesson God taught Job on the plains of ancient Uz? True strength isn't found in our ability to control everything, but in our willingness to humble ourselves before the one who controls all things. Behemoth is a reminder that faith is not about understanding everything. It's about trusting the one who does. It's a call to let go of our need for control and rest in the shadow of a God whose power and wisdom are as vast and untamable as the greatest of His creations. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into one of the Bible's most fascinating creatures. If this story has given you a new perspective, let me know in the comments below. What do you think Behemoth represents? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more explorations into the rich symbolism of the scriptures. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking.